Alright, hello everyone, we're continuing because we've been talking too much. In the background, what is that darn Kyoko? Where's that darn Kyoko? Togami asked. At this rate, Makoto will be snatched up by those two. They're not really going to snatch Makoto away, right? Asini asked. Plan 3, Operation Jealousy. Did you hire those two to hit on Negiichi? Gakure asked. Almost everyone on this island works under me. Once they heard of Makoto's deplorable love life situation, they all strangely quite easily agreed to help bring them closer together. We met corporation. Where's Kyoko-chan? Asahina asked worriedly. She sure is taking her time. Servants, find out the problem. Toko grabbed binoculars from her sleeve and searched for Kyoko through the lenses. Found her, Byakuya-sama. She's been harassed by a group of raggedy men. Why isn't she, stuttering? Did you write them as well? Gakure asked with much concern. No, I have no idea who they are. Takami answered. Uh-oh. Really? Kyoko-san is in trouble there, and we gotta save her, Asina said as she prepared to go down to help her. Wait, Togami said, stopped her. Let's have Makoto solve the problem for us. He is much closer to her. He will get to her much faster than we can. Okay. Asina says she stood down. Togami grabbed his walkie-talkie and said, move the target towards the coordinates that I'll tell you. The two girls successfully dragged Makoto towards Kyoko. Once Makoto saw Kyoko in trouble, he broke free from the girls and started running towards Kyoko. Kyoko, I'm coming now! Makoto said desperately. Kyoko did not hear him. By the time he reached her, Kyoko had thrown the man holding her wrist over her shoulder onto his bathroom. This girl is on his bottom. This girl is crazy, he shouted as he and his friends ran away. Makoto was awestruck by Kyoko's swiftness in the background. Is that okay? Gakure asked worriedly. He looks awestruck. As long as the problem is solved, all is well. Makoto-kun? Kyoko said, finally noticing Makoto behind her. The two girls had retreated quietly after the two made contact with one another. The men also ran away from Kyoko's might and were later ambushed by the woman under Togami. The men were tasered at high voltages near their necks and dragged into nearby thickets of trees. That was amazing, what you did! I am a detective, so I had to train my body. I'm not nearly as strong as Aoi, though, Kyoko said. I'm not well versed in martial arts, but it's... Wait, I'm not well versed in martial arts, but it seems to be quite useful for self-defense. Shall I teach you a few moves when we get back? Kyoko asked, trying to feel it cool. That'd be great! Makoto as he grabbed Kyoko's hand. More importantly, are you alright? Yes. Kyoko is still a girl with these slim wrists and small hands. Okay. The next time you run into trouble, I hope that you call for my help. I might seem a bit unreliable, but I would like it if you called me in situations like these. Being a man would be useless if I cannot protect the woman I love. Kyoko nodded her head slightly out of embarrassment. Girl, what the fuck? In the background, this is enough for today. Togami said as he started walking towards his boat located at the portal of the cliffside. It's up to them now. Let's go get some donuts, Asina suggested. I don't know about you guys, but I'm starving after running around the island all day. I don't know how you can eat all those kind of things every day. We'll be having food that is already prepared. We'll be having food that is already prepared by my personal chef. You're such a good person, Togami-ichi, Hagakure says. He wrapped his arm around Togami's neck. Unhate me, Crichton, before I push you off this cliff. Afterwards, the couple walked around the beach. Kyoko initiated handholding and even went as far as to intertwine her fingers into Makoto's, despite her deep embarrassment. They had dinner at the restaurant. Togami instructed Makoto to take Kyoko with calm seclusion and watch the sunset together. Kyoko, shall we get going to our room? Makoto, shall we get going to our room? Kyoko suggested. Makoto blushed slightly. Isn't it still a bit early? I'd like to be alone with you now, Kyoko said as she grabbed Makoto's hand. Is that a good enough reason? Okay. Makoto said embarrassedly as he turned his head away. The room had a view of their own outdoor bath. Wow, this place is amazing! There's even an outdoor bath, Makoto said, excited. The bed is very large as well. I looked around, but it seems that this is the only bedroom here. It seems odd that there is one, despite this being such a large estate. Makoto blushed slightly. That means that there's only one bed then, Makoto commented. It's not much different than usual then. We usually sleep in the bed at home together anyways. My thoughts exactly. Makoto said with a slightly dejected tone. He was slightly hoping for a different reaction from Kyoko. It'll just be the two of us from now, without any outside disturbances. Makoto felt slightly more tense. What shall we do now? Makoto asked shyly. Cards or how about a bath? Makoto gave a sigh of false relief. A bath? That sounds great. Makoto flushed ferociously. Is something the matter? No, of course not. This is the natural course of action after a long day, right? Makoto reasoned. You can can go in first. I will go in later. Makoto's heart calmed down immediately. That's right. She didn't mean to get her, Makoto thought to himself. That doesn't mean F-E-F-F. Uh, Makoto had a bath all to himself until Kyoko came in with only a towel wrapped around her body and her hair whipped into a bun. Makoto blushed furiously. Kyoko-san! Makoto, may I join you? Of course, Makoto says. He scooted to the other side of the small bath. He quickly grabbed a towel he had laying by his side and tied it to his waist. Kyoko came into the bath with her towel on. The towel clung to her curves as the towel clung to her curves as the towel touched the water. The bath here is quite nice, Kyoko said as she held up a small puddle of the bath water up with her hands. Yeah, Makoto said as he looked up towards the sky. Yeah, wait. Makoto, did you have fun today? Kyoko asked as she slowly scooted towards Makoto. Yeah, it was my first time coming to this beach, and the state that Togami-san lent us is really beautiful. I'm glad that you enjoyed coming here, Kyoko says. She intertwined her hand with Makoto's hand. I enjoyed coming here as well. Makoto's heart soon jumped. Kyoko, when you invited me here, I was quite skeptical since I have never been to the beach before. From what I've experienced so far, I find it quite nice here, Kyoko said. Makoto soon turned his head towards Kyoko's eyes, slightly moist lips, wet collarbone, the towel wrapped tightly around her body. He soon turned away again out of embarrassment. Why are you looking away? No reason. Please look this way if you have no reason to look away. I can't look your way. You're too beautiful. I can't help but leer at you again. I don't want you to think of me as a dirty person. What the fuck? No, 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 no. I better see that sentence. Didn't I mention already that I don't mind you leering at me? Kyoko asked as she grabbed Makoto's chin and turned his face towards her. Kyoko-san, am I a dirty person for coming in here like this? Kyoko could never be dirty, Makoto said as he grabbed her hand. Everything about you is beautiful and clean. There's no way you could ever be dirty. I just didn't expect you to come in here with only a towel on. It made me very nervous, so I had a difficult time looking at your face. Kyoko blushed slightly. I see. Would you feel less nervous if I told you that I was wearing a swimsuit underneath? You are? Makoto said with a slight relief. You are too easy, Makoto. Kyoko says she tapped Makoto's forehead with her right index finger. Makoto was slightly confused. I didn't look carefully before, but you are quite well built, but you still are quite I didn't look carefully before, but you are quite well built, but you still are quite slender. Kyoko says she slightly touched his chest and abdomen. Makoto felt slightly embarrassed and ticklish from her light touches. Do you think so? Your back has also gotten wider. Things have changed a lot since our Hope Peaks days. Yeah, Asahina has been inviting me out for runs and tells me to train more often on my own. You sure have the nerve to be talking about other women in this situation, Makoto. You are well aware that I have the ability to make you into an eons in this situation, right? Makoto felt a cold sensation go down his spine. Kyoko, I would appreciate if you spare me from that. Makoto begged. It was only a joke. As always a good friend of ours. If there were any woman, I would not let you go as easily for being alone with them for a prolonged time. Is that jealousy? I read somewhere that some men find the girl's side, jealous side, quite cute. How was the slight taste of it? Quite scary. Being cute is quite difficult. If I may say, I believe that you are already playing cute, already being as your Kyoko blushed slightly as Makoto's eyes turned away. You are still as honest as the first time we met, Kyoko said with a smile. Oh no. The big days. A lot of things have happened back then as well. Do you still think about them? Kyoko asked with a slightly downcast gaze as she left her right hand over his heart. Every day, Makoto answered as he brought Kyoko into an embrace. If only I was stronger, if only I was more stronger back then, maybe things would have been different. It is too late for that kind of thinking though. The only thing we can do now is live for today and think the best tomorrow as well. Dude, that busted. After hugging for a few minutes, Makoto felt a very soft sensation brushing against his body. Yes, Kyoko says as she wrapped her arms around Makoto's body and brought her into a tighter embrace. After hugging for a few moments, Makoto felt a very soft sensation brushing against his body that would have been unthinkable if Kyoko was wearing a swimsuit underneath. Makoto's blood pressure started to rise. Kyoko, forgive me if this question may come off a bit strange, Makoto said politely. What is it? Are you perhaps not wearing a swimsuit underneath? Kyoko asked nervously. Ah, you found out. You can touch me. You can touch me to. You can touch me more to confirm if it is true. Makoto immediately released Kyoko and scooted to the other far side of the bath. Makoto broke out in a nosebleed, dying in the bath to get in the bath red and fainted. Kyoko took him out of the bath and wiped Makoto down before putting his bathrobe on him. I guess that was your tipping point. Kyoko says she played with his cowlick. I fell for a troublesome person. For real. Kyoko kissed the unconscious Makoto's cheek. Wake up soon, my sleeping prince. I fainted. Did Kyoko change me while I was unconscious? Makoto thought to himself as he got up from bed. Makoto found Kyoko wearing a similar robe standing outside on the balcony, staring at the stars. Thank you for earlier, Kyoko. Do not mention it. I could not just leave you in there. Just wondering, did you see... Did I see what? My body, I stuttered. I did. I even wiped you dry. You have a problem touching me without your permission, Makoto? Oh my god, I'm gonna have to censor that. My body, Makoto stuttered. Of course not. Of course not. I just feel embarrassed. You saw my body. Ah. You were about not being able to become a bride anymore. It's not a problem since I'm willing to take responsibility for my actions. Kyoko, is your nosebleed better now? Yes, it is. I'm sorry about the bath. That was more of my fault, though. Cleaning out the bath must have been difficult. Not really. There are self-cleaning machines here as well. It's quite high-tech here. Achoo! Kyoko released a small sneeze similar to the sound of a mouse. Oh, okay. You're wearing such light clothing. You didn't seem to mind it earlier in the bath, she teased. Makoto blushes. That is another thing. You will catch a cold of such... That is another thing. You will catch a cold with such light clothing on out here, Makoto says he placed a blanket on Kyoko's shoulders. Thank you, Kyoko said with a gentle smile. What are you doing out here by yourself? I was just thinking about a few things. Like what? The past. The past? The incident that happened at Hope's Peak still feels like it happened yesterday. When I think back on it, I remember how I betrayed you that day. For as long as I can remember, I dictated my actions based on logic, making me a cold person. I should know very well how any smite could be costly, Kyoko says. She squeezed her hands together. Remembering the burning scars she received as an amateur detective. I should have protected you much better. I was blinded by my own will to survive in order to bring down the mastermind that made mistakes. If alter ego didn't interfere, you would not be here today. Although I eventually went to this garbage disposal to find you, I don't think that was enough to make it up for you putting you through all that. Then, when that was not enough, there's the incident at headquarters too. As well, if things didn't go as well as they did, you would have spent a long time blaming yourself. It was quite cruel of you not mention your forbidden action to me, though. I had a feeling you would have tried to do something rash. Of course, Makoto said nonchalantly. Makoto angrily picked up by the collar. Don't reply so nonchalantly. Top. I'm sorry, ma'am. Kyoko released Makoto's collar. As your boss, I have a duty to protect my employees. That's why I did what I did. At first, I felt a bit of hesitant putting that medicine in my mouth, but after I saw you, I decided to be brave and hopeful. You gave me the courage to fight through my hesitation. It took me a while after that to recover. In the end, I did. More than my recovery, I'm glad that you did not give up at that time, Makoto. To be honest, there was that time I did give up. When was that? It was near the time you were out. I read your notebook and tried to test your fear of my own body. When everyone was asleep, I was the only one allowed to move during that time and watch the television. It induced hallucinations on me. I found all of our dead friends as if I were reliving the scenes where they died. If it wasn't, if that wasn't all, both you and bitch were blaming me for being alive. I would never. I know that, Kyoko. It was my old dooming. I had not come to terms with my friend's deaths at all. Rather, I shoved them down to the darkest parts of my heart. They all came back at me within a moment. I could not handle the lash due to my weak heart. I almost ended up killing myself. While I was in that frenzy, I thought it might be okay to let go because the one telling me to let go was your hallucination. I wanted to be on your side and by all of our friends' sides. I suppose it was a bit too selfish. You are to never give up your life for mine ever again. That'll be up to me, right? Wrong, Kyoko says. She flipped Makoto's forehead. Ow! Makoto rubbed his forehead. Your life is mine. You're not allowed to die easily. You hear? I do not want to go digging around the trash again, so stay where I can see you. Are you worried about another cup of ramen falling on your head? Makoto asked with a teasing voice. Kyoko blushed. When did you become a tease? Some things change with age. I like how you're easily becoming more frazzled. It would have been unthinkable for you back then that willingly put her hands in another's underwear for evidence. Oh yeah, I forgot that happened. Chihiro, Inafumi. That was for collecting evidence. I'm still a lady, so I kept the sanctity of his socks untouched. Makoto laughed. I hope that you forget the image of that ramen on my head at the very least, Kyoko said with a slightly proud face. I refuse! I won't ever forget that moment because that's the moment my angel descended literally from the sky. Kyoko got slightly happy from hearing Makoto call her his angel. Angel? It was a pretty desolate situation, even after I avoided execution. But I still had hope that things would be alright, because I was still alive. Just as I was thinking about how things could have been worse, you came down and assured me that all would be well. Were you mad at me then? Not at all. How could I be mad at someone who came to keep helping me by going through the garbage disposal? You're never going to forget that, are you? Never. It also happened to be the moment I fell for you when you complimented my optimism. Kyoko blushed. Of course. Of course, I did not realize the feelings for you then. At some point, I realized then that my feelings of admiration for you as a strong but fragile person was actually something else. By some strange string of fate, we got married together. It was quite the proposal you made back then. Thinking back, you could have knocked me off with your strength. You gave up quite easily for some reason. I wonder why that was, Makoto said in a slightly sadistic tone. It seems that you make an even better detective than I. That's not possible. I suppose that I have to thank you for your moment of forgiveness, and let me sleep beside you that day. If it were not for that, it would have taken me a lot longer for me to confess my feelings to you and make you mine. Well, even without that event from work, I still think that I would have asked you to marry me. I can't think of another person that I would rather be with for the rest of my life. What would you have done if I was with someone else? Keep trying, Makoto responded for me. If you were truly happy, I would not mind giving up. Doesn't that sound a bit devious from a former hero? Even heroes are devious and cunning. Do you regret getting married to me knowing that I am like this? Never. I have never been happier. That I think that when I came to get you, then I was also when I fell for you. I'm glad we got married, Makoto. Kyoko said with a very sweet smile as she turned her face towards him. My wife is so cute! Makoto thought to himself. I want to hug her. Do you mind if I touch you, Kyoko? Makoto asked quietly. Kyoko felt slightly startled as a abrupt question. After preparing her heart for a few seconds, Kyoko turned towards... I got a call from Walmart. After preparing her heart for a few seconds, Kyoko turned towards him and opened her arms widely. Please go ahead. It seems that I would like it if you were to touch me. Makoto stared slightly from Kyoko's honesty. Kyoko, does that make me a dirty person? Kyoko asked with a slightly flushed cheek. We wanted to hug her, but now that she said that was such an unfair expression, I can't just leave her with a hug. Not at all, Makoto answered as he placed one hand on Kyoko's cheek. If you are dirty, then I am as well. Makoto slowly brushed his fingers across Kyoko's cheek and closed his eyes as she brought Kyoko's face closer to his own and interlocked his lips with Kyoko's soft lips for a moment, and locking lips again for an even deeper kiss as he placed his hands around her head and back. I'm running laps. It would not be for another half minute until they decided to break free from each other. I'm glad that we went on this trip together, Makoto, Kyoko said with a smile as she hugged Makoto. Yeah, me too. I'm very happy to know what you think of me. You were very cute today. And you were very bold. It was the first time that you initiated a kiss on my lips. You were quite manly. That makes me kind of embarrassed. Although your sheepish personality is cute, I also want to know about more of your manly side. I'll try my best. I'll be waiting, Kyoko. I love you very much, Makoto, as he brought Kyoko into a near tight embrace. Me too. It is getting a bit cold. We can't let you catch a cold now. Shall we head to bed now? Makoto suggested. Yes. 2 days later. What? You still haven't done it? Hagakure asked loudly. Shh, you're a bit too loud, Hagakure-san. Sorry. So after all that happened at the beach, you two never got closer? Hagakure whispered. Not exactly. We did get a bit closer. Kyoko and I had our first real kiss together. It was under the moonlight with just the two of us viewing twinkling stars together. I could not ask for a more perfect ending to our trip. I'm glad I got Kyoko to come with me, Makoto said cheerfully. I'm glad all is well, Asahina said as she patted Makoto said. As long as you're happy, Nidichi-chan, Hagakure said. Yeah, I'm going to work on the paperwork Kyoko asked me to finish today. See you guys later. I was worried we were doing something bad, Asahina said, with a look like. With a look like that, all is well, Hagakure said. As well as we have Togami-ichi to thank for. A hand was mysteriously placed on Hagakure's shoulder from behind. Please tell me more about that, Kyoko said with a malicious smile. Both Asahina and Hagakure had sweat dripping from their faces. Kyoko later called all 4 perpetrators to her office and had them all do extra paperwork as punishment. Togami escaped punishment by running off to his helicopter before Kyoko could chew him out. She later got to him as well and gave him double punishment for being the mastermind. The lights suddenly went out during a late night shift. Makoto, concerned about Kyoko, who was working in her office alone, went to her office with a battery-powered flashlight. Kyoko, are you alright? Makoto as he showed his flashlight around Kyoko's office. Makoto, is that you? Kyoko asked in a soft voice. Yes. There was a sudden blackout. I wanted to check on you since the lights went out. Someone went to work on the lights. We should have electricity, if not soon. Is it just you? Yes. It would be dangerous if a lot of people would be out on the move during a blackout with limited flashlights around. Where might you be? I am on the ground by my desk. Makoto stirred the flashlight around Kyoko's face. Has something happened? I twisted my foot earlier. Makoto showed the flashlight towards Kyoko's swollen ankle. That looks bad. We should get you out as soon as possible. The flashlight started to flicker on and off. Soon afterwards, the flashlight died. Did you accidentally turn it off? Kyoko asked, sounding very worried. Maybe. Makoto asked as he desperately turned the switch on and off. Huh? It's not working. Did you bring any spare batteries with you, Makoto? I'm sorry. I did not. Kyoko let out a small sigh. Can you put out your hand then? Yes, of course. Whoa! Kyoko pulled Makoto onto the ground of her. Kyoko, it's better if you find some place to sit. The lights should come back on any moment now. Ah, yes, your hand. It is easier to make sure of each other's presence this way. All right, Makoto replied nervously. Are you in any pain right now? The pain subsided. I'll be able to get up eventually. You should still check it out. You still get it checked out, Kyoko. It looked pretty awful when I saw it. I apologize for not having the prettiest ankles. No! Kyoko has the prettiest ankles in the entire office, Makoto said in a fluster. Makoto soon felt embarrassed by his proclamation. That's not what I meant, Kyoko. Kyoko does have pretty ankles, though. It's not like I stare at them often. From what I've seen, they are very beautiful. Kyoko let out a soft chuckle. I see Makoto likes looking at ankles. It's not that I don't like. It's not that I don't like them. How did you twist your ankle, Kyoko? I was startled by something before the blackout and fell. Kyoko was somewhat reluctant to say what that something was, as if she would possibly trigger its second appearance if she were to say its name. Something startled you? I can hardly imagine something startling Kyoko. Am I a strange alien to you? Strange? Maybe. I would not call Kyoko an alien, though. Kyoko could hear a soft running in the steps. Kyoko groaned slightly as she squeezed Makoto's hand. Makoto? Kyoko, is something the matter? You can't hear it? Hear what? Nothing. Something small and furry ran across Kyoko's other hand. Kyoko let out a high-pitched yelp and jumped towards Makoto. Kyoko clung onto Makoto's neck and pressed her body onto his. Kyoko, are you alright? Something ran across my hand. Something? A mouse. Could it be that you were startled by a mouse earlier? Yes! Makoto fell silent before letting out a soft chuckle. Even Kyoko gets frightened. Of course I do. Makoto soon realized two soft mounds were pressing on his body. Oh my god. Dude, why? Kyoko, those, things are touching me. Things were the only word Makoto could think of using at the moment to describe Kyoko's mouse. That thing is still around. That thing is still around. Kyoko said with a trembling voice. She was unable to fully hear Makoto due to her fear. Makoto let out a small sign. This might be bad. Makoto's eyes had finally adjusted to the darkness. Into his view came the two soft mounds that were pressed against his body. Kyoko's slender bare neck, her slightly peeking underwear, her softly drawn light pink lips, and her tears gently rolling off of her beautiful lavender-colored eyes. Makoto's heart started racing not from the darkness, but from Kyoko's enchanted face. Heat started to gather around his waist and lower back. Makoto brushed Kyoko's lavender hair with his fingers and held her head and waist firmly into his hands. His lips slightly touched Kyoko's eyes. Makoto licked his lips hungrily after tasting the slightly salty liquid. Makoto? Her lips seemed prettier than usual. Kyoko thought to himself as he pressed on Kyoko's lips with his thumb. How soft. Kyoko was so shook from the mouse earlier, regaining her senses. Kyoko caught a glance into Makoto's beastly gaze and slightly cowered a bit from a different kind of fear. Wait, Kyoko said as she tried to separate from Makoto's grasp by pressing against his chest. As if not hearing Kyoko's plea, Makoto held onto Kyoko rather firmly and closed off any escape route Kyoko could have made. Makoto pried open Kyoko's softly trembling lips with his thumb and turned his head slightly at an angle. Makoto slowly closed the distance between Kyoko and himself. The lights flickered back on. The blackout was over. Yahoo! The lights are finally back on! Asuna said as she popped her head into Kyoko's difference. What are you two doing? Thanks. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm slowly stopping up parts because I am a little scared here. Kyoko and Makoto were sitting a far distance apart. Asuna stared at the two of them suspiciously. They both had red faces. My foot hurts a bit. I would like to get some help getting into the infirmary. Asuna rushed over and took a look at Kyoko's ankle. That was back! Get on my back, Kyoko! Hold on, Asuna-san. I'll take Kyoko to the infirmary instead, Makoto said as he swiftly picked Kyoko back up into his arm. Could you go and find a doctor instead? I heard the doctor was on lunch break somewhere. Roger! Asuna said as she quickly ran off. Kyoko slightly touched her lips, reminiscing of the tender feeling she had earlier on her lips. For a moment, she had doubted if that feeling was really Makoto's lips. That darkness is a pretty scary place to be in, Makoto thought to himself as he remembered Kyoko's soft body pressing against him, how he lost his cool. Makoto found a new fear within himself. As the black island continued, Makoto feared that he might have done some more than a simple drawn out peck of the lips. Day off. Okay. Kyoko and Makoto had the day off together. The two newlyweds decided on staying inside for their first day off after 7 months. Makoto woke up earlier than usual and went to prepare a special breakfast for Kyoko. I should make some pancakes, Makoto said to himself. I would like to help to prepare, said as she entered the kitchen. Kyoko, you woke up! Mm-hmm. I woke up earlier than usual since we had a day off. You could have stayed in. I would have, but you were not in bed earlier, Kyoko said as she yawned softly. Makoto blushes. You want to spend time together in bed? Makoto asks. Kyoko blushes from realizing what she said earlier. No, that is not it. Or it is, Kyoko said in a fluster. Makoto coughed into his fist. How about I get breakfast ready while you wash up? Kyoko said as he tried to change the topic. Oh, I washed up a bit earlier. I want to help you prepare breakfast since you always do. I like cooking for my wife. Just take some time off to relax. I want to help my husband once in a while too, Kyoko said strongly. Understood. Kyoko was wearing her very short fleece shorts with a matching white hoodie with light purple dotted design. Makoto felt a bit worried about her exposed thighs and swiftly tied an apron over her body from behind her. You might get burned if you wear that, Makoto said with a smile. Let me help you too, Kyoko says she got on her knees. Whoa, Kyoko! Makoto says she tried to back away. It's fine, you don't have to do that. Makoto looked up and Kyoko looked at Kyoko looked at Makoto with a slight expression. I want to do it. While Makoto... Oh god, what's gonna be in here? Y'all guys are weird. When Makoto was distracted from Kyoko's endearing expression, Kyoko had already latched onto Makoto's waist and began tying an apron around his waist. Makoto quickly accepted his fate and allowed Kyoko to tie the apron around his waist. Makoto held his heart on the side before going back to cooking. Makoto finished making pancakes while Kyoko sliced up some fruit and got the toppings ready. Kyoko! Kyoko! Makoto called. What is it? Kyoko asked as she turns toward Makoto. Makoto pastes whipped cream on the top of Kyoko's nose. You easily fell for my trick, Kyoko, Makoto said in a teasing manner. Kyoko grabbed Makoto's face and nuzzled her nose against Makoto's face. Now we look exactly the same, Kyoko said with a smile. Kyoko, we do not look exactly the same, Makoto whined. Your skin is so pretty and translucent, so the whipped cream does not stand out much on you. Kyoko wiped the whipped cream off of Makoto's nose with a napkin. All clean, Kyoko said with a smile. Makoto licked off the whipped cream on Kyoko's nose. It is more convenient if we just lick it off, Makoto said with an instant smile. Kyoko's heart stopped for a moment and caused her to faint from happiness. Makoto caught her quick before she fell. Shortly afterwards, the two shared a peaceful breakfast and a relaxing day at home together. Makoto wanted to take the initiative one day when he heard that Kyoko was going to have a day off that aligned with his. He had heard Kyoko mention once that she would like to go out once in a while with Makoto when she was talking with a friend. The reason Kyoko never once acted selfish was because she knew how much work it took out of him and wanted to get as much rest as possible. As a result, Kyoko began feeling more about a day. Let's go on a date together, Kyoko. Makoto proposed during work hours. Kyoko showed a bright smile that Makoto saw only once in a while. The rim caused his heart to soar towards the sky. Alright, how about tomorrow in the town square at noon? Kyoko suggested. Yes! Makoto tried his best to carefully and methodically go through his work so that he would not redo his mistakes. He took extra care this time since he wanted to go on a proper date with Kyoko. Lately, they've only spent time at the office or at home together. This change of pace would surely bring them closer together as what Makoto kept thinking during work. Kyoko watched Makoto diligently working hard from the side. Occasionally, she would slip in Makoto's favorite treats and drink silently so he could continue his work in peace. It was finally the day of their date. Unfortunately, someone other than Makoto made a mistake on the shared document. Even though it was not Makoto's fault, he still had to come back in the office to fix the mistake. Kyoko received a text message from Makoto while she was waiting at the meeting spot that he was going to be a bit late. Asahina passed by at one point while she was shopping with her younger brother. Kyoko, what are you doing out here? Asahina asked Kyoko. I'm waiting for Makoto to get off work. Kyoko answered her. I see. I thought Makoto had a day off today. Asahina asked. It seems that something happened at work. How about I wait here with you? You're about to be hit on sitting here by yourself since you're so pretty. Asahina said. Kyoko smiled in Asahina's direction. I'll be fine by myself. Kyoko, Makoto would not make me wait too long, Kyoko answered her. Alright then, I'll see you later then, Asahina said as she waved goodbye. Kyoko began her long way alone. She began to feel a bit anxious with each passing minute, thinking that something may have happened to her beloved Makoto. Despite her feelings, she continuously told herself to wait at the spot they promised to me. Even if the world were about to end, she would not move from that spot knowing that her husband was out there somewhere. An hour went by with no further word from her husband. 2 hours went by from Makoto's last text message. The sky began to turn gloomy. Kyoko's growing worse. The light drizzle of rain began to rain down on everyone. As people began to take shelter from the rain, Kyoko remained resilient and waited quietly for Makoto. Even when the rain began to pour, Kyoko continued to wait in the same spot. Suddenly a hood from an umbrella covered Kyoko from the rain. As she looked up, she saw the face of her beloved Makoto's faces and clothes were all tied. Makoto, welcome back, Kyoko said with a smile. Makoto bent his angle at a complete 90 right angle in front of Kyoko. I'm really sorry, Kyoko. I made you wait for so long. Kyoko took out her handkerchief and began wiping his face. You look like you went through a lot, Kyoko said as she smiled. Although Kyoko smiled, Makoto could tell that she was not smiling from the bottom of her heart and quickly went to hug her. I'm really sorry for making you worry. Makoto's hug melted Kyoko's face and heart. She finally let her feelings show on her face through her tears as she embraced Makoto in his arms. I was really worried, Kyoko confessed. The two could continue their date by walking home holding their hands together. Makoto's troubles. I'm late! Makoto screamed to himself as he ran outside of headquarters. I'm coming, Kyoko! Correcting and fixing other people's work took way too long and made Makoto late to his date with Kyoko. Makoto pulled out his phone from his suit pocket only to have it fall down all the way to his feet. He accidentally kicked his phone into the middle of the busy street of moving fast carts. No! Makoto screamed as he fell to his knees. After the crowd of moving cars left, Makoto's phone was miraculously left intact. Ultimate lucky student, ultimate lucky student. After determining it was safe to cross, Makoto picked up his phone and heaved a sign of relief knowing that his phone survived. Just as Makoto tried to send Kyoko a text, something bumped into him from behind and caused Makoto to drop his phone in the rain gutter. After a lengthy process of trying to retrieve his phone, Makoto met with one natural disaster after another. Each one was more perilous than the last, from being chased by dogs, being attacked by birds. Makoto was close to the mean spot until he found a crying lost girl. Are you lost? Makoto asked the girl. The girl nodded to affirm Makoto's suspicions. Makoto took it upon himself to help the girl find him of her modern way. She had somewhere. He eventually found the young girl's motor in a police box. The young girl gifted Makoto an unopened umbrella despite there being no rain at the time. Is this a Zawameki fucking novel? The newsman said there. The newsman said there be rain today. The young girl told Makoto. Be careful not to get sick, Oni-chan. Thank you very much, Makoto said as he accepted the umbrella. On the way back, the rain suddenly began pouring. Makoto saw one lone girl waiting underneath the rain and quickly went to open the umbrella for her. Makoto, welcome back, Kyoko said with a smile. Makoto bent his body. Wait, I think. Yeah. By the time they had reached their home, they were both completely soaked to the bone. The umbrella was only helpful for a short time before the wind picked up and splashed water all over their clothes. I will go heat up the bath for you first, Kyoko, Makoto said as he took off his coat. Kyoko grabbed Makoto's wrists. Let's use the bath together, Kyoko suggested. Together? Makoto stuttered. Kyoko suddenly felt embarrassed and released Makoto's wrists. If you don't want to, that is fine too, Kyoko said shyly. I will go first then. Kyoko quickly ran away and went to start the bath. She went to clean herself thoroughly before going to the bath. Before entering, she felt a bit hesitant and watched the door. He really isn't coming in, Kyoko said with slight dejection in his voice. The door opened suddenly, and in came Makoto with a blindfold and a towel wrapped around his waist. I hope you do not mind me joining you, Makoto said shyly. Kyoko chuckled softly as she went over to Makoto and helped wash him down by scrubbing his back and helped him in the bath. Kyoko sat on the side composite facing Makoto. Are you warm now? Kyoko asked Makoto. A little bit. That's a problematic, Kyoko said. Kyoko moved around the water and placed her face close to Makoto's. She didn't place her hands on Makoto's legs, and she closely, uh, as she closed her eyes and kissed Makoto on the lips. She felt a bit startled from the sudden kiss that ended up being a very long kiss. The blindfold Makoto was wearing suddenly became loose and fell into the bath. And to his sight, he saw a beautiful wife kissing him, and with her eyes closed. Makoto's wandering hands soon went to Kyoko's slim waist. The two separated eventually to catch a breath of air and stare into each other's eyes. Kyoko, Makoto, who mouth exasperated. Kyoko licked the saliva from her lips slightly. Oh. Are you warm yet? Are you warm yet? Kyoko asked Makoto with a seductive smile on her face. Yes. Makoto answered shyly. The heat from the bath suddenly got to Makoto and made him feel faint. Kyoko ended up having to retrieve the fainted Makoto from the bath. God damn. Let me see the time. 42 minutes. I guess I'm finishing up with this. Okay, loving life. Yeah. Makoto. 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 Choo. Choo. Kyoko climbed over Makoto's lap and kissed his cheeks constantly. Makoto pushed her off slightly. Kyoko, I think this is enough. Any more, and I'll go crazy. Yeah. No! Kyoko refused cutely. Kyoko was recently shot with a special kind of bullet while we were surveying an area belonging to Ankuma. After receiving immediate care, the bullet was taken out of Kyoko and was able to fight her way out of being critically injured. When she woke in a hospital bed, she attacked the most nearby person. The unlucky person happened to be Asahine. Within 5 minutes of her screaming, she received immediate help from Kyoko and Hagakure, who pried Kyoko from her. Seeing as though Kyoko's condition was severe, Makoto and Kyoko were forced to take a leave of absence until a cure would be found. Kyoko and Makoto decided to watch a romance flick, so they sat in front of the television and watched the drama together. Kyoko slipped in between Makoto's legs and sat in his laps. This Kyoko is too cute! Makoto thought to himself. Nagi, I wanted to have with you. Kyoko said shyly as she pointed at the screen. The main heroine and the main protagonist admitted their feelings for each other and kissed. I also want to do things like that with her, Makoto thought to himself. Can we? Kyoko, it's not like we can't. That means yes then. Kyoko says she turned around and climbed onto his lap and wrapped her arms around his neck. They both slowly closed their eyes as they went for a short peck on the lips. Their lips separated once and soon come back into contact with a deeper kiss. After some time, Kyoko separated from Makoto's lips for a moment to catch her breath. She soon came back into a kiss with her tongue included. Makoto felt a bit lost because it was his first time kissing like this. Kyoko paid no mind and continued her relentless attacks. An adult kiss, Makoto screamed internally. He's like a little kid. Kyoko. Makoto, you can touch me as well, she said as she placed Makoto's hands on her hips. Everything is escalating so fast, Makoto screamed to himself. Kyoko, the drug is making you do this, Makoto said as he removed his hands. I do not want to do anything that Kyoko is against and hurt you. Makoto, if I was really against this, I would not be doing this even if I were under the influence of some drug. It's because I am with you that I always wanted to do this kind of thing with you. But I'm always too shy to admit it and come off a bit cold. These are my true feelings. Yeah. All of this? Yes, she said as she nodded slightly. As a man and your husband, I will do my best to answer your desires. Makoto says she pushed Kyoko down to the couch and hovered over her. Yeah. Hagakure and Asahina came bursting in through the front door with a blue vial. Oh, what's the comments gonna be like? Hagak Rejoice! We have found a cure! Hagakure said. Hagakure and Asahina dropped their jaws upon seeing the crime, upon seeing the scene unfold. Wait, this is not what it looks like! Kyoko wrapped her arms around Makoto's neck. It is exactly what it looks like, Kyoko said. Sorry for disturbing you too, Asahina says, seeing Hagakure slipped out of the door. After a few moments of explaining, Kyoko was able to receive the antidote. I'm just glad that it is all over now, Makoto, Kyoko said remorsefully. I'm glad too. I cannot say that I will not miss you being so bashful and honest. You are very cute when you're acting like that, Makoto said. Are you saying that you prefer a loving wife? Kyoko asked. Not at all. I prefer the usual you, actually, Makoto said as he grabbed Kyoko's hand. Being loved is also nice. Either way, I would welcome any side as long as it came from you. No matter what, you will always be you. I cannot help but love all of your sides. You sure become slick with your words now. You think? Yeah. Makoto and Kyoko stared into each other's eyes as they slowly came into a kiss. This soon tapped each other's forehead and smiled. I love you, Makoto told her. I love you too, Kyoko said back. Okay, a Halloween party. Yeah, after this hour pass, I'm gonna go get something to eat and then probably do the Danganronpa V3 session that I needed to do. And yeah, because this is recorded before the Danganronpa V3 question, but this will be uploaded afterwards. Makoto and Kyoko were preparing their costumes at home for their annual Halloween party that was coming up at headquarters. Kyoko, should I go with the werewolf costume for the Halloween party? Makoto asked Kyoko while they were deciding costumes together. I am worried that everyone will try to pet you if you go with the werewolf costume because you are so cute, Kyoko said with a smile. Isn't a werewolf the epitome of the manliest costume? Why did I be cute? Makoto asked dejectedly. Kyoko kisses Makoto's cheek. Well, you are a very cute person, Kyoko said with a mischievous smile. Makoto pouted slightly. I'm going to be a manly person this year. Just you wait, Makoto said with passion. Oh. What the fuck? No, I don't want Futaba on my screen. Alright. Kyoko giggled softly with her hand slightly over her hips. I cannot wait for the party, Kyoko said with a smile. Makoto closed the space between them and gave Kyoko a long kiss on the lips. Me neither, Makoto as he smiled slightly. Hey, that is why I prepare a costume that will make even you swoon, Kyoko. Makoto hurries outside to buy the supplies for his new improved costume while Kyoko stays seated in their living room and touches her lonely lips. He didn't have to rush to leave, Kyoko said dispiritedly. A few days later, Makoto asked Kyoko to leave first so that he could prepare his costume in secret. Upon reaching the party, everyone turned their heads to marvel at Kyoko's costume. She had come with bandage wrappings around her legs, with one higher than the other, and both of her hands carefully wrapped with bandages. On her face, a detailed stitching makeup was done from her eye and down her cheek. She also tied her hair up in a high ponytail and wore a doctor's lab coat on to mimic a Franken doctor design. Yo, am I getting some Soul Eater vibes here? Hold up, I can't be the only one. Bruh, there's no one in there saying anything about Franken Doctor from Soul Eater, man. At the base, she was already very beautiful. Today, everyone agreed that she was frighteningly beautiful today. Kyoko-chan! Asahina called out. Asahina came dressed in her usual clothes with a dolphin fin coming off her back. Owie, Kyoko said with a loving smile. The stitches look so realistic, Asahina said as she marveled at Kyoko's realistic makeup. I spent some time looking at dead bodies and remember how the stitches look. You remembered? Kyoko explained. Your costume is amazing! Your costume is amazing, Hagakure said excitedly. Hagakure painted his entire body green, poorly wrapped bandages around his head and arms, and wore ripped clothing. Hagakure-san, homeless attire? Kyoko guessed. I'm a zombie for what it's worth. Kirigiri, where's Negichi? He did not come with you? Hagakure asked. Kyoko smiled prettily. Makoto has some surprise in store for me, Kyoko said with a smile on her face. Hagakure went to get snacks for the girls, while Asahina went to the restroom to freshen up. Kyoko waited at some place she had a full view of the entrance. A nameless passerby soon blocked her view. Your husband has not come by yet, Kyoko. Are you not feeling lonely with your husband by your side? And this man said as he tried to place his arm around Kyoko's shoulders. Did you wait long? Makoto asked as he pulled Kyoko into his arms. Makoto appeared in what seemed like a vampire costume. He slicked one side of his part of his hair back and wore a fancy suit underneath a black cloak. In Kyoko's eyes, Makoto had suddenly become very charming in her eyes. Not at all, Kyoko answered him. You two seem very close, the nameless man said. Makoto smiled cheerfully. Very. Negi answered in Kyoko's ear. We are married after all. Please excuse me, the nameless man said as he finally left the loving couple. Yeah, fuck her. Alright then, the people about the nameless man, the nameless man, I could body him right now, and yeah, you better leave, man. Kyoko suddenly grabbed Makoto's face and pressed her forehead to his. It's warm. Did you drink? The juice that I drank must have had some alcohol, Makoto said as he touched his head from a headache. Kyoko quickly grabbed Makoto's hand and brought him down to the rest area on the office floors. She placed Makoto down onto a bed and began loosening Makoto's neckties and unbuttoned the few top buttons of his shirt. Should I get you anything? Should I get you anything? Kyoko asked worriedly. Makoto began softly panting. Can I have some water? He asked. Kyoko left and came back with a cup of water and poured a bit of water into her mouth before feeding it over to Makoto with their mouth. Would you like some more? Yes, please, Makoto answered as he placed his hands over her waist. Even after running out of water, the two continued to kiss each other much longer into the night.
No. Wait.
Oh, what the fuck is this? Guys, I still have a few minutes left on this, so I'm going to have to see what this is. Kyoko was accidentally doused in another mysterious Monokuma liquid and turned young. Kyoko brought the young Kyoko to their home. Asahina came over to deliver some children's clothing. Kiri-chan is so cute! Asahina said. Kiri-chan? Makoto asked questionably. Do you want to call her Kiri? Do you want to call her Kyoko? Asahina asked. Asahina asked Makoto. Good point, Makoto replied. How old are you, Kiri-chan? Asahina asked Kiri-chan. I am 4! Kiri-chan said as he held up 4 fingers. How cute! How cute! Asahina had to leave after a short while. Her division was greatly understaffed, causing her break to be very brief. Kiri-chan walked around and caught her eye on Makoto and Kyoko's pictures. This person looks just like me, Kiri-chan said. That is you. Well, older version, that is. We got married and now live here together, Makoto tried to explain. That must mean you are my wife, Kiri said with a large smile on her face. Don't you mean husband? Kiri-chan, Makoto asked. No, I meant what I said, Kiri-chan said confidently. Definitely Kyoko.
If we are married, does that mean you kiss my older self often?
Kyoko asked innocently. Makoto was slightly jolted. I do occasionally, Makoto answered blushingly.
There's a slight hesitation in your voice.
Kiri-chan noted. We do kiss, just not a lot, Makoto answered honestly.
Then, do you also have sex?
Kiri-chan asked. Okay. It's too small to know about these topics. How does a 4-year-old know this? I want to ask the same thing. Kyoko, what the actual fuck was your childhood? Chokes on air. Excuse me, you were 4. Please, you were 4. How do you know about such a word? Makoto answered frantically.
Judging from the look on your face, you must still be a virgin.
Kyoko concluded. Such words should not be escaping such a young lady's mouth, Makoto said as he slightly chopped Kirichiri's hands. Oh my god.
Ow, are you one of those Cybermen? I worry about the continuation of my bloodline if that is the case.
Kiri-chan continued. Oh my god. You're too young to be worried about those things anyway, Makoto said. Taking care of children proved to be difficult in more ways than one for Makoto. Kyoko would constantly beg Makoto to stay home with her. Nei was left with no choice but to request a few days off. Makoto had to bathe her with a blindfold, of course, and provided various forms of entertainment at the expense of his own body that include playing as her horse. Asahina came by quite. We need to get a picture of the stat. Asahina came by frequently to give Kiri-chan some of her old clothes and played with her so that Nei could go back to work.
Kyoko, please bend down a bit.
Sure. Alright, Makoto said as he bent down.
A little lower.
Okay, he said as he bent down on one knee. She soon grabbed both of his shoulders and placed his lips against his. Oh my god. Just then, her body grew to the size that she was at when we were still attending Hope's Peak. Her clothes stretched along with her body and caused her shirt to show her off her midriff and her skirt to rise above her hips. Kyoko crouched onto the ground in an attempt to hide herself. Makoto, who watched the entire process from beginning to end, took off his own coat and placed it over Kyoko's shoulders. Makoto! Kyoko had outgrown her child's clothes but seemed less mature looking to her normal adult self. Kyoko, you still look a bit long. May I ask how old you think you are right now? Makoto asked. I am 15. You look a bit taller than usual. Did something happen? When did you grow so fast? I did not grow fast. You were the one that got smaller. Makoto quickly explained the situation to the slightly teenage Kyoko. I understand now. The future me is quite careless. No. She's very reliable boss. What are you doing at your boss home? Makoto flashed young Kyoko his ring. We got married some time ago. Married? Yes, it happened some time ago. Makoto says you reminisce the day they registered their marriage. I see. Do you mind if I get a change of clothes now? Kyoko asked blushingly. Ah, yes. Please head down the hall towards the master bedroom. I hope that you can find something that you can wear in the closet, Makoto said as he quickly looked away at the barely dressed girl. Kyoko went towards the room and went to look at what she could wear. Most of the clothes her older self wore were business attire and were ill-fitting over her in the areas of where there would need to be more curvature. Kyoko climbed to the upper parts of the closet and found the clothes from her teenage years safely stored. Most of the old clothes were her detective wear, but Kyoko needed loungewear for now, so he decided on a black spaghetti-strapped camisole with some matching short shorts. Kyoko climbed to the upper parts. Kyoko, yeah, most of her clothes were detective wear, but Kyoko needed her loungewear for now. So she decided on a black spaghetti strapped camisole with some matching short shorts. Her outfit seemed revealing much around the arms and chest area, so she found an oversized khaki colored cardigan to go over her clothes. Alright, I think with that we're gonna end it off there. I guess I'm gonna star this because I need to get finish at this obviously, so I know where I'm gonna be at hopefully. Thank you so much for coming by on this lovely day of this fanfiction. I will go and get something to eat, and then I will go and record my session with Danganronpa V3. So yeah, thank you so much for coming by on this lovely day of this episode. Peace, peeps.